There is a low fat and less. Everywhere we find the same problem. So what we can do best for the overcoming the problem? So we are number one in milk production, right? India stands number one. But we have had so many problems. So with respect to the quality, there is a reduction in the quality, as well as there is a mastitis, metritis, and so many applications. We are number one, but there are so many problems associated with the business. If you take Karnataka itself, so more than 28%, up to 50% of the cattle, the grass-fed cattle, are having low fat and SNF. That's a major concern. So how to control this? How to combat this? Whenever you go that this is not an overnight problem. You cannot solve this by giving any injections or any supplements. So it takes its own time. So there are many factors involved where you can change the quality of the milk or components of the milk over a period of time. So it requires patience for the farmers and also by the veterinarians to change the quality of the milk. So in that sense, so here, so earlier the food standard, the society, so they have given some regulations. They told that if it's a buffalo milk, you should have 6% fat and SNF should be 9%. And if it's a cow milk, it should have 4% fat and 8.5% SNF. That was the standard set earlier. But now they have changed. So now they have changed the food safety standards. They have changed, they have reduced in that. So they have come down to milk fat 3.2% and the SNF 8.3%, because we cannot meet the earlier standards which was set in the previous years. Now we have come down to the standards, those standards, and we have set a new standards for the milk. But even then, these standards are also not being met in the feed conditions. So what are the reasons? So reasons, before going to the reasons, so let's see how the milk is secreted. So we know the ruminants being the roughage eaters. So they ferment part of roughage, producing volatile fatty acids. The major is acetate, bitrate, propionate. So here the acetate and bitrate goes for the fat synthesis, and the propionate is converted into glucose by the acrylate phosphate, is converted into the combined with lactose, forms the lactose, and there are the microbial protein which is produced in the rumen, so which will be converted to the casein and added to the milk. So, but the minerals which are coming through the diet only goes to the milk. There is no change in the mineral. We cannot make any change in the mineral composition of the milk. So, because if a cow 1 liter of milk should contain 1 gram of calcium. So if the calcium is not provided, the milk production comes. Otherwise the animal cannot compensate. So earlier, so to some extent it can compensate by draining its own calcium from the bone. But to a larger extent, where the calcium drain stops, so animal no further increase in the milk. It is going to stop or decrease the milk production. So here, if you see the milk fat, so 50% of the milk fat that is coming in the milk is synthesized in the udder itself through the acetate and bitrate, and 50% comes from the diet. So whatever fat is there, the long chain fatty acids are there, that is secreted in the milk, and other 50% is synthesized within the alveoli, so within the gut. So that's what we can decide what type of the feed the animal is consuming. Say for example, if the animal is outside for the grazing, so then the type of the fat which is secreted in the milk varies. Then the animal which is there in the stall fat. That's why we always go for the animal which is grazing, because grazing animals is going to have a short chain fatty acids or medium chain fatty acids. Because grass contains these short chain and medium chain fatty acids. So obviously these fats get secreted in the milk, and the milk which is having these short chain fatty acids or the medium chain fatty acids will have a better quality. So that we can say that's organic. So organic milk cannot be synthesized in the stock. If you want to produce organic milk, the animal has to go out and eat. It has to graze, or it has to go to the forest and eat graze. So that's the prerequisites to produce the organic milk. So whatever the people claim, we are producing organic milk. Organic in the sense maybe they are avoiding the antibiotics, or maybe they are avoiding the other chemicals. But in the terms of the quality, so it has to come from the outside. It has to come from the grass. So here we can say the milk fat, the 50% we can change. So there is a wide scope for the fat to change. So we can change the fat level. So this is the one major component which can concentrate. So coming to the other factors. So there are physiological factors and the environmental factors. So one is major genetics, we cannot do anything. So other is the age, we cannot reduce the age or increase the age. So 55% of the milk quality is controlled by the genetic. So only 45% is controlled by the environmental factors. So we have got a 45% to change. 55% cannot do anything. So we have got a chance to change the composition to the extent of 45%. So that's in our hand. So coming to the irritability of these characters. So we can say there is a positive correlation between the components. Say fat, SNF, fat, protein. So they are positively correlated. So whenever there is an increase in these components, fat increases, simultaneously protein also increases. If the quantity increases, there is a negative correlation. So that's obvious. If there is a milk production increases, obviously the quality of the milk also decreases. So that's the concern.